Got another Meet the Team video to play here, which is awesome.
Yes, indeed.
This week we had Bryan send one in.
Hell yeah. Shout out to our guy, Bryan, one of the newest additions to the team. And he has been quietly and consistently killing it with the short form clips and just going hard and getting so much content out to the people through the short form platforms. And he's incredibly talented in a lot of different verticals within filmmaking and creativity in general. So, and a great guy. And I got to meet him for the first time at the end of Anomaly Tour backstage at the venue in Los Angeles that we played at called the Palladium. So that was really cool. Shout out to Bryan. Let's hear his question.
Hi everyone, my name is Bryan and I'm an editor on the Harry Mack squad. It's one of the greatest teams I've ever worked for and I'm grateful to be here every day. I have a question for Harry. It has to do with being out in the real world. For me, as a videographer and editor, I'm always analyzing the world a little bit differently. Like I can't turn off my skill sets, so I'm seeing angles when I'm out and about. When I hear sound effects, I think of Foley. When I see light leaks, I think of cinematic shots and things like that. Is that something that you can turn off with your skill set? Like, can you turn off rhyming? Are you always thinking in rhymes? When you see signs, do you rhyme? When you sleep, do you dream in rhymes? Do you go from that flow state to that dream state? I'm just curious.
Hey.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
That was fire, especially the poetry at the end there, from the flow state to the dream state. I have freestyled in my dreams before, which is really crazy. I've definitely played drums in my dreams too. Usually when I'm playing drums, it's a nightmare situation where I can't control the setup. Like the hi-hat pedal just keeps slipping so far away. And I'm like, why did I not bring my rug? Like, why did I forget my rug? And I'm just trying to get through it and I keep fucking up and the band leader's looking back at me like, what are you doing? And my hi-hat's like on the other side of the room and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like reaching. When I'm freestyling, I'm usually not just completely dropping the ball like that so I don't know. But yeah, I have freestyled in my dreams, but just occasionally. It's not a common thing. I don't remember my dreams much right now at this phase of life. Maybe I should start keeping a dream journal. But to answer your question in general, first of all, those were really cool examples, hearing sounds and thinking of Foley for film and seeing light leaks and things like that. I always think about that, how like I know very little about cinema. I know a little bit about video making now, of course, as a content creator myself. Still not my area of expertise like it is for you, Sam. But it has changed the way that I view certain things. And, it's kind of fascinating to be just strictly a fan that can 100% buy into the illusion of a certain type of art because you don't know anything about how it's created. Like for my whole life, I just watched movies and was just like, yeah. It just is. Like, I didn't think about like, well, how'd they get that close up of that person? And then also this angle, and how do we not see that camera when I was like, I'm not even thinking about the production at all. I'm just like, this thing exists and it's really entertaining and I love it, and every time you learn a little bit about how something is created, all of a sudden you can't ever view it like completely innocently ever again, And so, I think it's cool to hear about how Bryan sees the world through a filmmaker's lens, no pun intended, or pun intended. I don't know. I never know which one. It's like I knew it was a pun when I said it. All right, yeah, I intended it. Yeah, I can turn it off. I can turn it off for sure. I can turn off my rhyming. I turn it on and off. Like I'm not at the restaurant reading the menu and I'm like, oh, okay, steak tartare. I'm a break thou jaw, or something. I turn it off, but. I'm better at turning it off now as an adult than when I was younger. Because I remember when we were young, there's always this thing of the day starts and I'm not rhyming. But then when we were kids, it was like I'm not rhyming all through the school day necessarily. Maybe I am like a little bit here and there. But then after school, if we did like a freestyle session or on the weekend, if I got together with the homies and we did a freestyle session, it's kind of like once we open up the faucet, now we're just in this mode. And then it's like, all right, we've been freestyling for 2 hours. Like, let's go meet up with the other homies, So then we go get together with everybody else to do something else. And I just remember like me and my best friend, Alon, rest in peace, would just be rapping like we couldn't stop, We would and anything somebody said, I'd like make it into a multi-syllabic bar, People would start getting pissed off, like, dude, stop doing that. Like, yo, shut up. Like enough with the rhymes, So it used to be hard to control. And I think it's because at that time I didn't have like as much of an outlet for it, You know, like I couldn't just like rap in class, obviously. I couldn't necessarily just rap at the dinner table, you know, because I'm with my parents. I'd be like embarrassed for them to hear me rapping, you know? So it was like my outlet for this was when I was with my friends. And now I have a huge outlet, a somewhat structured outlet for my creativity because it's my full-time job, you know, and it's so much more than a job to me. Obviously, it's what I kind of identify with the most as a human being on earth. So, but yeah, now that it is my actual job, there are so many opportunities for me to scratch that itch of freestyling and getting the rhymes out. So I think that helps me sort of be able to turn it on and off and have some structure to it. I also think meditating and practicing mindfulness has also helped me sort of create more mental boundaries, which are really helpful for myself. So it's like, you know, meditation is a lot about letting go. And so I think one of the things that's challenging for creatives is like when we're in the lab working, sometimes the job just follows us right out the door into whatever the next thing is. So it's like you're at dinner with your partner, but you're really not. Your head is just still trying to solve the problem that you were working on, the creative problem. Like, damn, what happens next in the story? Or like, where should this rhyme go? Or how am I going to close it all up? And I think that mindfulness is really helpful for that because you can start to see your thoughts for what they are from sort of a bird's eye view instead of feeling like, well, this just is reality. You know, it's not like I have a choice here. This is just my reality. I'm stuck in the creative challenge right now. What do you want me to do about it? It's like, well, no, actually, this is just a thought that's occurring in my brain. I can see it. And I can say, oh, you know what? I'm with my family right now. Let me let go. So yeah, as an adult, I am able to turn it on and off. But yeah, it took a while to get there.
It's kind of interesting. Like, it's not a direct correlation to what you were just saying, but like at the end of Gorilla Bar shoots, like you, me, and Connor, you, me, and Mikey, like,
yeah,
we've spent a couple hours out there and we're kind of in that zone where it's like we're all at the ready at any point to jump into action. We've developed something over the years, kind of just over time, where it's like we all have to look at each other and almost like handshake and turn off the cameras and microphones when we decide a shoot's over.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we stay in that mode and no one knows if we're gonna like, yo, there's a group right there, let's jump in.
Yeah.
And it's like it's that shift of mindset, which
For
is
sure.
like so big, you know. And if you don't like actively make it, it's hard to you kind of stay in the middle. And sometimes I don't know. It's great to be able to shut it off because it's almost like what Lauryn Hill talks about. Like then you can go and get refreshed and gain what you need to come back and do this.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
No, it's a good point though, because I was thinking too, like it's interesting because like Bryan is talking about seeing the world as a cinematographer, and you know, like cinematography is a visual medium, you know, and so that makes sense that like you see light come through a window and you just think of like, oh, that's cool, that looks like a very cinematic visual, but it's not like I'm just like
what I need to capture that. Like that's kind of how like that would be like absorbed by Bryan maybe.
Right.
You start to think, you start to reverse engineer it a little bit. You start to go into your back.
But I'm not just like hearing raps drift in all day. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not just like, that multi-syllabic, interesting. Or like, he's like, unless I'm like actively listening to music, then that's not happening. Like, it's not like my window's cracked and somebody's outside doing a freestyle and I'm like, oh, set up punchline, very interesting, 4-bar phrase, I love that. So I was like, man, so it's a little different in that sense. But Gorilla Bars is a good example because the identification of high potential groups to approach for a Gorilla Bars clip, that is visual and you see it all around. And once we turn that on, it's so hard to stop seeing the world through that lens of like, yo, they look hype. We'll be like, yo, you see those 12 high schoolers over there that are like laughing? That's gold, you know? So like, so yeah, that's really funny. But shout out to Bryan. I love the question, man. And, make sure you all go support this man as well. He's on Instagram at Ishbin I believe is how it's pronounced, at ICHBINBRYAN. And he's got a lot of really dope stuff on his IG as well. For us, he's producing the short form clips, but in general, he does a ton of work with other people as well, filming, editing, VFX, animation, all around creative and talented human being and wonderful person. And it's just a joy to have him on the team.
Hell yeah, Bryan. Appreciate you, dog.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Bryan.